Section 2.5, example 4, solving a quadratic equation using grouping. So use grouping to factor and solve the quadratic equation. So again, if you have a different way to factor, that's completely fine as long as you're coming up with the correct solution. But for these, we're just going to factor by grouping. This here, what I'm going to do now is going to be something called factoring, or the AC method. You write it down just in case you want to find other videos on it. This is called AC method of factoring. So in a quadratic equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, what we're going to do is multiply a and c, and that's going to be the top part of our x that we've worked with before. So here we're looking for two numbers that multiply to a positive 9, actually not 9. AC method wants us to multiply 4 and 9. 4 times 9 is 36. And lastly, we have two numbers that add to 15. So if this doesn't work, then there's something wrong. We might have multiplied a little bit, but here in this video, I'll show you that it's always going to end up working out that way. So now we're going back to this X method, 36. So factors of 36 are going to be 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9. It's not divisible by 5, but then 6 times 6. And from here, all the values are going to end up going up. All right, so two numbers that multiply to 36 but add to a positive 15. 1 plus 36 is equal to 37. That one's not going to work. And next, we have 2 plus 18. That gives us 20. We needed to add to that 15, so that one's not going to work either. 3 plus 12 equals 15, and it looks like we found our winner. So it's going to be 3 and 12. So 3 and 12. And just as we did before, instead of writing 15x, we're going to write it as the sum of 3x and 12x. So over here we have 4x squared plus 3x plus 12x plus 9 equals 0. Just move this over to give us room. Okay, so from here, we're going to start grouping. So grouping the first two terms together, grouping the second two terms together, making sure that there's a plus in the middle so that way we're distributing that positive through. And we're going to factor out as much as we possibly can from each group. So in this first group, it looks like all we could factor out is that x. So that leaves us with 4x plus 3. Over here with this second group, 12x plus 9. It looks like each of them have a 3 that we could factor out, so plus 3. When we factor out a 3 from the first term, 12x divided by 3, that gives us 4x. And also 9 divided by 3 gives us 3. Looking at these two together, it looks like both of them have that 4x plus 3 in common, so we could factor that out. 4x plus 3. When we factor 4x plus 3 from this first term, we're left with just x. And when we factor it out from the second term, we're left with just plus 3 equals 0. From here, we could apply our square root or our zero product property. So two value or these, the equation, the left-hand side is equal to 0 whenever this part is equal to 0, and also whenever this part is equal to 0. So we set both of them equal to 0 and then solve. For x plus 3 equals 0, and also x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3 from both sides on this part. And divide by 4 on this side. And we're left with x is equal to a negative 3 over 4. Over here, we're going to subtract 3 from each side, leaving us with x is equal to a negative 3. So those are the two places where the left-hand side is equal to 0. So our solution x is going to be equal to a negative 3 over 4 and a negative 3. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, bye.